So, Payday 2 is pretty much officially over. The last update with the White House and the secret was pretty much the last one we're gonna get. The secret achievement is called The End, and the story ended, and all the cutscenes were pretty much ending, so with Overkill's The Walking Dead, they've decided to put their efforts focusing on their new title instead. Now, if you've been keeping up with the recent news at all, things actually aren't going well over there in Sweden. The Walking Dead game flopped really hard. It's selling very poorly, which doesn't bode well for Starbreeze, Overkill's publisher. Previous titles, such as Raid World War II, also sold extremely poorly, so funds are very low over there, and they've even filed for a reconstruction of the company. And if that wasn't bad enough, Starbreeze was raided by police on a case of insider trading, and as far as I know, a few people were even arrested. So as you would expect, things are looking kinda grim for Overkill. You know, the way I see it, the prospect of getting a Payday 3 or hoping for maybe more content in the current Payday is diminishing extremely fast. If they somehow get the funds to make a sequel, who knows if it'll be any decent, it might end up being horribly rushed just like The Walking Dead was. So for Payday fans right now, the future is looking bleak. And as a content creator, this brings up many issues for me. It's no secret that this channel is known for its Payday 2 videos. As much as I dislike being labeled a Payday YouTuber, it is an apt description of what I am, and the fact of the matter is, this channel only has a modicum of success because of Payday 2. In the game's current state, without updates, I have very little reason to return and play the game. You know, I've accumulated 3,500 hours in the game. I've gotten all 1,130 achievements, and I've done pretty much everything you can possibly do in the game, and more. So without updates and without a Payday 3 in the near future, there's going to be a lot of stagnation. Stagnation of the player base, interest in the game, and consequently, interest in other content. So, for those of you that are unaware, currently my channel is my main source of income. I went to college briefly, but I struggled with, certain things. I won't bore you with that. Long story short, I essentially dropped out, and the only income I had was from doing YouTube and Twitch. And let me be real with the whole YouTube income thing, you know? A lot of people think that you make a lot of money. You don't really make as much as you think. At least I sure as hell don't. Even at the peak of Payday popularity, or my own channel's popularity, I guess, you're still only really barely covering basic necessities. And for every other time, I'm really just scraping by. Not to say that I'm complaining about it or anything, you know, it's just the reality of my situation. So, with little chances for growth, my choices are, you know, just to keep on scraping by or to move on. And even if I decide to make what my viewers want and do more Payday videos and just kind of keep making them until I wither like a prune, the stagnation will continually plague my channel and the game, and eventually it won't just be scraping by anymore. So, I'm really in quite a pickle when, you know, even if I decide to just dedicate only to Payday, and I don't really see a lot of stability in the future for it. So, even if I wanted to, I don't think I could go this route. Like I said, I've done so much that doing more Payday is kind of a chore, you know, if I force myself. Don't get me wrong, if I ever get an idea that I like, or there's something I want to do, or friends want to play, I'll gladly pick up Payday and play for a bit again. At the end of the day, I love the game. But finding anything new to do these days is difficult. And, you know, I'm not really looking for suggestions. To be frank, people do send me a lot of suggestions, but they're closer to the erotic delusions of a masochist rather than they are nice ideas. It's pretty funny, you know, when Payday first went free to download for a short while, a bunch of new YouTubers came popping up, and one of the more intriguing things I saw was all of these YouTube videos coming out on stuff that I've already made YouTube videos on, you know? They'd also do better than my own videos, and I was pretty baffled, a little frustrated even. Even to this day, I see loads of suggestions on YouTube of new videos whose content is stuff that I feel like I've made in the past, you know? Don't get me wrong, you know, I'm not trying to rag on anyone out there. I'm just trying to prove my point. There's really a limit to how much you can do in one game, especially, you know, how much one is willing to do as well. I can't really keep doing this forever. I've already been doing mostly Payday, but it hasn't been exactly phenomenal for my channel, you know? Sure, I have made myself somewhat a decent following, and I've built up this channel and everything, but at the same time, I've given myself no fallback, no way to grow outside of the game, And ultimately, my channel's fate is tied to Payday. So, I guess now the only other thing is to consider the other option I talked about, which is just moving on. And I'm not talking about trying to do other games and other types of content, because, you know, I've pretty much been trying, and I kind of gave up, you know, trying to get that second break in another game or something. In the past, I've talked to people about this, and while you guys are usually pretty cool about it, it doesn't mean that my channel will find any success elsewhere. So, as it is, no other games could possibly sustain my channel the way Payday did. Even if I, you know, attempted to do purely variety gaming, I had to like try branching out and other stuff. It's just kind of how it is. So what I'm talking about instead is more or less moving on from YouTube altogether. YouTube's been a good thing, a great thing in my life, actually. I've had a hell of a time, and I've been able to experience things that most people would never be able to. And while most people, my parents, would argue that it's fucking ridiculous, I've personally been able to live out what some people could only hope to do, even if it was only for a short while. But really, I have to start thinking about my life again, you know? I'm going back to school at the moment. I'm trying to keep myself relatively healthy, watching what I eat, exercising. I'm just trying to move on, slowly, you know? The day where I quit altogether may be coming soon. I don't know, maybe not, who knows? I've thought a lot about this before, and I still do now. I'd love to be able to quit cold turkey, but gaming, at the heart of it, is a hobby that I don't think I'll ever get to completely throw away. I just love it too much, you know? The experience, the attention that it takes, hanging out with buddies, there's just too much that I enjoy. For a time, I even used it just to escape reality. Sometimes I still do. I try not to as much anymore, though. It's really not good to be like that. In the same vein, it's why I have such a hard time with YouTube stuff in general. At the heart of it, I love making videos. Rather, I love sharing the fun experiences that I have with people that will enjoy themselves as well. For example, recently, what I'll do sometimes is I like to frequent gaming subreddits, you know, just for shits and giggles, memes, whatnot. Occasionally, I'll post something myself. Usually a GIF, maybe I did something stupid, like, for example, I jumped off the map as a Slayer in Vermintide, or I get to laugh as a fat bloat dances over my corpse after dying and killing for it. Or maybe I saved my teammate in some pretty fucking epic way in Monster Hunter. Generally, nobody knows who I am in these places, and I don't upload my video to my channel and share it that way. I just kind of do it anonymously. But goddamn, the best part is just the reactions. You know, seeing so many people get a good laugh. Maybe they share the experience themselves. And that's what I love. Even now, it's the main reason why I still make YouTube videos. I didn't start it just to make Payday videos. I didn't start it to do Patapon videos. I didn't do it to become famous. I didn't do it for money. It's because, god damn it, I wanted people to laugh with me. Maybe sometimes at me. Back in the day, I started my first YouTube channel in 2008. I made a channel because I wanted to make Halo 2 videos. I fucking loved Halo. That was so long ago. And when I was young, I would spend my days watching videos of other people. Montages, MLG scrims, bloopers and shenanigans, glitching tutorials, you name it. Everything was out there, and at the time, everything was so cool and awesome. I wanted to do the same thing, share my stuff. I got that sick stick across the map. I wanted to find my own way out of the maps. I wanted to do all that stuff. And of course, I was also young and retarded as fuck because I didn't have an Xbox, so how the hell would I make Halo videos without that? So I did other stuff, you know? I actually did play a lot of Halo 2 Vista, but that's kind of whatever. Way in the past. As for this channel, this current GeneralMcBadass channel, I started this when I wanted to share stuff that I did with my friends to my friends. You know, some of my very first videos, I did like Ava and Left 4 Dead, and you know, if I still look, I'll find some of the really shitty quality, shitty edited videos, but goddamn, I enjoyed the hell out of it. Even now. I remember one of the most hilarious things that ever happened to me in gaming, and that was watching my friend spawn outside of the safe room after a cutscene, and laughing at his dumb ass getting pinned by a charger. That's why I did YouTube. That's why I make videos. These days, it's not so simple anymore, and you know, you have to have a plan. You have to cater to an audience. You have to have a certain standard for doing stuff. A lot of people don't realize that YouTube is essentially your business. You know, you sell your product to the target audience. You need to grow, you need to compete with the others, and it can get ugly. I was always hoping I could be one of those YouTubers, you know, one of those big ones I would watch where they'd post gameplay or commentary of any game, and they'd have such a large following. Of course, I was also insanely naive back in the day, but, you know, you do miss 100% of the shots that you don't take, right? Even now, it's not entirely something that I can't try. Maybe if I change how I do stuff, work on it differently, maybe I'll be able to continue with other content. But at the same time, I'm also a really pessimistic guy. Glass half empty and all that. I'm not dumb. I know that the success of this channel was akin to catching lightning in a bottle. It most likely won't ever happen again. Just because I have this channel now also doesn't mean that it'll help for, you know, doing other things. I've come to realize that. People will come for what they want, and if they don't get what they want, they won't stay. Not really blaming anyone again, you know, it's just kind of the reality of it. I am the same way. You know, if I subscribe to a channel but their content isn't really what I came for, you know, I won't stick around. It's just how it is. It's harsh. I often think about what I could have done differently, you know. Was it the choices that I've made in my career? Maybe it was me. Am I just not funny? Was my editing not good? My personality wasn't funny enough? Not good enough? A million different things. I'd hate myself if I think about it too hard. At the end of the day, I was lucky. You know, that's really it when it comes to the whole being successful on YouTube. Everyone that is successful on YouTube was lucky to some extent. You could be the most talented, charismatic, or intelligent person, but just not make it. This goes for everything. But if there is one thing I'd like to say about this, there's one characteristic that most successful channels share, if not all: persistence. That is like the one absolute truth I have to my own channel. It's the one undeniable fact about it. I may not be the smartest, I may not be the most creative, I may not be the most funny guy out there, but goddammit, I did put all the work into making this channel what it is today. You may not like it, you may not like the videos, you may not like me, but I definitely worked for it. I put in the time, the effort, and by a stroke of luck, we've been able to meet here today because of it. So, I'm starting to get like I don't even know where I'm at anymore. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm sorry for going off. But at the same time, you know, I feel like I rarely get a chance to talk about myself on this channel, and I kind of always want to. It feels cathartic. So, if you've managed to stick around for this whole thing, thanks. You know, I really just want to let people know how I feel about this channel and what I plan to do for the future with Payday being over and all. And if this is the last time that we have a serious talk together, let me just say this now. Thanks for everything. I know I spewed, especially, you know, today, some pretty negative stuff, but at the end of the day, I owe everything to you guys, and I'm truly grateful for being given this opportunity. And by all accounts, this channel was a triumph, you know, a big fat note that says huge success. It's just that right now, the future is pretty uncertain, and unfortunately, all good things must come to an end, and my little good thing I got here might be one of those. But, as one of my heroes put it, you gotta have opposites. Dark and light, light and dark. It's just like in life. Anyway, I'll see you guys later. Take it easy.